Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, daydreaming a little bit then. Lighting's a little bit funny and that was a terrible crackle, but we are back live on Loose Lines, back for another week with a few special guests. That audio doesn't look like it's anywhere near loud enough, and it won't be. We'll turn that up so people can hear us. I know where it has to get to. Now it's getting there. We can see that now. Turn that back to there, and that's a bit better. So people should be able to hear us now, all going well. So apologise for that. You've got a close-up of the noggin too. Weather's turned. It's a little bit colder. I think I can turn that down a little bit. Oh, no, actually, I know what I can turn down. Turn that one down. Then it'll be better for me as well. Welcome anyway back to the show. Sorry about last night. Old Faithful decided it would desert me, and I couldn't, had no Wi-Fi, effectively. So, yep. Would not turn on and is now in the bin and never to be seen again. So anyway, big show tonight. Swan Harness Racing's been cancelled. I'll have Gerald Moloney on in a little while. Darren Clayton with some sad news in Queensland, also some positive news, but yeah, some sad news there. So I encourage people to hang around and catch up when I'm talking to Darren a little bit later on. Yeah, just terrible news for the guys in Queensland. Four fine gentlemen really having a rough time. So please, hang around for that. They've got a GoFundMe page, and Darren will give a lot more insight into that when we get to that as well. And I'm also going to get Mark Barton on as well to discuss the yearling sales that have just been on, plus a race series that's about to come up, plus what else is happening with Nutrien as well. Plus there's a lot of other guests we've got coming up. We've got to get some news out for the guys from New Zealand. Recap onto the Grins. I haven't got anyone organised for that, but I possibly could. I'm just going to... Yep, good. The audio is working quite good, so we'll kill that down a little bit. So please, if you are watching, get involved. Any of those comments at all. Emmy Mazzetti, hello to you. Gerald Moloney is on, and he will be very shortly with us. But we're going to start off with Mark Barton. Now, he was on a phone call 2 seconds ago, told me that he's going to be all good to go and ready to go. So hopefully we can get Barto on the phone straight away.
How are you, mate?
Very, very well, Barto. You answered. You didn't say you'll be 5 minutes.
No, I was on the phone and I told the bloke I was going to be... waiting for your call, so I said as soon as you rang, I'm hanging up.
I can't believe that, but I really do appreciate it. So that part is very, very good. Firstly, whereabouts do we find you? Because you don't ever stop, that's for sure.
No, we're at West Wyalong today. We are at West Wyalong Camp Draft and Showground at the Australian Stock Horse Youth State Show, so the New South Wales Championships for Stock Horse Youth. So we've got our two boys have competed the challenge in the Camp Draft today, and they do the show tomorrow.
Yep. So how'd they go in the Camp Draft?
Littlest fella won the cutout and second in the draft, and the older fella in a big field ended up third in the Camp Draft, and James, the little fella, was second overall in the challenge. But both the boys just a bit short of a ride because of our commitments. Christy and I have just been a bit tight to give them the ride they probably deserved. So they're a bit both underdone.
Well, it sounds like they're going okay though.
No, look, look, today's probably their forte. There's kids here that are gearing up for the Stock Horse Nationals in another few weeks that are, they do a show or the hack and Stock Horse classes week in, week out, and our guys camp draft most weekends, so that's where they'd hope they'd shine today, and they both come home with I know James has decided that he's the bag of feed that he got as part of his cutout win is worth about $40, and he'd like to sell it to us for our Stock Horse yearlings and keep the cash.
which young kids, they think very differently. Don't worry. Do not worry.
Nothing about the purchase of the horse that we had to buy so that he actually is competitive. He never brought that into the equation.
You never can let the truth get in the way of a good story. Mate, firstly, congratulations on the Melbourne sale. I think yourself and the team and did a huge job. Yep, I get paid to promote you, but I still think what was put on there on the weekend and what's been put on since the 26th of January has been outstanding. 4 sales in 4. Am I going to say 4? Is it 5? It might have been 5. One, two,
Five
five
stables.
Five sales
yeah.
in 4 different states, including the first time venturing to Tasmania. Been a massive commitment from yourself, Christy, the kids, and then the immediate team around you with Gemma, and so many other people that you've been able to call upon.
No, definitely, mate. Look, it's Tassie was great. It was a nice little toe in the water a bit. A small sale. Great old, Carrick, a beautiful area, but a wonderful old race track and race club. But I think we both, you and I, talked about it. We looked at the horses. We were pleasantly surprised at the quality of them. I think we did stimulate a little bit of mainland interest in what was being bred down there. I think back to home ground at Albion Park for the Brisbane sale, I think was again a good move, good decision from the club. People love it. It's got a real sort of country atmosphere to it. And then Bathurst was a terrific sale. I think Sydney really, it exceeded our expectations by a fair bit. And, we talk about where Victoria's been at, the state of play at the moment. And I think we've got away with a big catalogue of horses as well. And only just recapping, I don't know, we certainly haven't sold 4 horses for 200 or more so far, and I don't know when the industry's seen 4 200-plus horses in a yearling season.
Yeah, which is phenomenal. And there was two on Sunday. A filly that made 150,000 as well. So, which was overall really, really good. We got Alex Ashwood on. Sean McNulty got quite a few people, but Alex Ashwood actually was purchasing in Tasmania, and he was at the back of the auditorium, sitting down there, still purchasing at Melbourne. And it's great to see young people like him in the game having a go, putting it out there, and trying to look for that bargain. I mean, he was sitting there a long time looking for the bargain. Actually, from memory, I think he bought the last lot at Tassie. I might be wrong, but he's a very patient man, young Alex.
Well, and I think he might have one in the field for the weekend too, doesn't he? I think he's got.
He could have a couple.
Got one, one or two from the stable. Which that's what I love to see, those stables that have supported us. It's good to see him line up on race weekend. With what's on this weekend. And you wish not just Alex, but all the connections of people that have invested. It's having 3 years ago or 4 years ago not owning a racehorse and now owning a few. It's I understand the journey, and I know, being a camp draft person, we don't really touch a horse till they're 4.5. So it's interesting, the expectation of getting these young horses up so quick. And I take my hat off to the trainers, like the real horsemen and women that actually can get a young horse to an event like this, but are still mapping out, the prospect of a free-for-all horse at 4 and 5 and 6 years of age.
Yeah, Alex has got the Sun and the Moon in the Woodlands, 3-year-old of Vincent out of Snub Harbour, bred by Alabar Bloodstock. Is actually owned by Brett Coffey, Cam Brown, and Jay Bogue. I'm not sure about that gentleman, but I definitely know Cam Brown and Brett Coffey. And I've fell into a little bit of a snag tonight, but I did want to get a certain video up. It will circulate next week. Brett Coffey got right into the fun and the festivities, if you like, of the parade, which was so well received. And I think he really gets it. And I think a few more probably are starting to get it. Try and win Best Presented and all the rest, but actually enjoy the occasion. Be there, sit there, and actually enjoy the occasion.
Look, the parade, I guess, and there was question, actually a couple of people said the way we present the parade makes it less necessary to be there on the Saturday for a physical look at the horse. They can get there on Sunday if they haven't already looked Friday. But I think the amount of people that actually watch that parade in and around the place, I think we counted around 80 people other than handlers and agents on parade day. Plus, your viewership, like there's a lot of views of that. I know a number of trainers or people flying into the sale on Sunday said, no, I actually watched it on the Wi-Fi, in-flight Wi-Fi, and I actually re-watched the parade and scrolled through to the horses I wanted to look at again while they're travelling down. So I think that availability so people can make informed decisions on their horses is really important.
Yeah, there was over, I can't remember the exact figures on that. I know it's massive now, but I think live there was well and truly 1,500 people had viewed it on Facebook alone, and I think it was pushing close to that on YouTube channel as well. So massive amount of people watching, and I do know viewership was in Australia and New Zealand, which that generally happens. I did share it, so it comes back that way, but we did. Funnily enough, we had the Philippines purchasing. We had a lot of people in the Philippines actually watching it, and also North America, and some people from England tuning in. We're reaching a worldwide audience. That's what we want to be able to do as well for this industry.
And look, I think we talked about it all briefly before we started there on Sunday. The way we present the Australian product, I think, is world class. I think we've got, like, Sydney's a state of the art complex. I love Oakland's Junction because of the feel, the history that piece of real estate brings to the party. But I think I think we should be very proud. Like, we saw the way the trotting Australian representatives went in New Zealand last Friday. Just how well we've got them. The influence of some of the international genetics that have been that have found their way in the Australian market now, and people have access to those genetics. And I think, we're producing. I've said this as, again, a newcomer to the sport. I like the fact that we've got short, middle and longer distance racing here in Australia, which is more unique than, say, the traditional just milers that you see in North America. And I think that's something that really does make our horses unique or stands them apart. And this weekend, I know we choose to go over the distance in our finals. Most importantly, to get the 11th and 12th horse a chance to get in, so you got more people participating.
I think that's very important, so people are aware of that. Why do we run over 2,300, or why does Nutrien run over the 23 or just shy of the 2,300 metres? And effectively that's it, because you'll get two more horses get a chance at $1.2 million of prize money being offered up this Saturday night.
Yeah, and look, we talk about 1.2. Bear in mind, I think we ran 10 heats in Victoria, plus 4 in New South Wales and 1 in Queensland. So that's another 10,000 each heat, so $150,000 on top of that. So we've actually ended up at 1.35 million in total available prize money. And I know there's been questions asked, why did you run distance in Victoria and over the short distance in New South Wales with the paces? But New South Wales won't let you run over more than a mile until July 1. So that's why we did it that way. And I don't believe it influences. We've also had trainers, particularly in the trotting gate, say we believe it's better to let the young horses travel over the distance and they'll dash home rather than push hard for the mile. So I don't pretend to be an expert in that field, but I do love having that 11th and 12th horse, that extra runner being able to get a chance to participate this Saturday night.
I was going to just while we're talking about the races, we'll go back to the sales in a sec. And actually I can do it this way anyway. This photo, I've done a boo-boo. I'll come back. I can always do boo-boos, don't worry about that, but it's okay, I'll fix it.
I'm not actually, I'm not looking at the screen, so you could have bluffed me.
No, the audio died. For everyone else, the audio just died because I haven't put the audio on this other screen, which I will fix up in a minute. But while we're talking about the trotters and over the distance, I've got it on screen now. The first of the races, which is at 20 to 7, 6:39, it is officially. But you've got Rainbow Jester and Sioux Warrior and Aldebaran Axel. I think actually all of those horses that are ODM, Kai Valley Jagger definitely did. Ogden must have, because he's only had the one start. They've all galloped out, and I reckon none of them were going to qualify, but because it was over the longer trip, they were all able to qualify. And that's,
and look, and that's, and I also accept their babies, and I respect that it's a more patient process to train a trotter, or I can only assume that. That they don't have the benefit of the hobbles and the help that they can be given. But I think ultimately you want a fair race. Now, I guess if you know it's over distance, you're trying to get that horse fit enough to travel that distance. But again, in my view, if there's a 12-horse field, it allows for, I think, a more exciting race. Certainly it gives more people a chance.
No, and the fields are there on screen. So the first is the Harasta Trotters, Nutrien Equine, the 2-year-old Trotters, Colts and Geldings final. We then move to the 2-year-old fillies, trotting fillies as well. And there's some big runs. There's actually another couple in that race there. Kiang Tweety Bird galloped out. Leggy Peggy galloped not long after the start, and Hurricane Katie also galloped out. So those horses were all given the opportunity to qualify. And I do know a gentleman, you know as well as I do, that made the long-range forecast that Kiang Tweety Bird wins the final. On last week's run, he may not be wrong. We won't mention his name in case he is wrong, but I don't think he will be wrong, Bardo.
No, look, again, there's some exciting young trotters, and I think credit to those people that embraced an April start for a baby. And the prize money, 75,000, is not to be sneezed at for the trotting gate. But we had strong fields, really strong fields for those trotters, and they went round to Bendigo, and I think we all said Bendigo, the track was slower than it can be that night, so we can expect some pretty nice times, I would expect, out of some of these babies on Saturday.
Sean McNulty's put here, what about scrap the 2-year-old and having it as a 4-year-old? Unfortunately, Sean, to sell horses, people want them up and going as 2-year-olds. Isn't that right, Mark?
Yeah, look, and again, if you say, what do I want? I want what the buyers and the people paying the sustaining fees want. But that seems to be, from a lot of people, again, I'm probably come from a different area where, like I say, a camp draft horses, we don't really do much with them till they're 4.5. So we're used to the weight. But the more trainers I talk to, they talk about, look, there's this expectation of a return. You've got the time to take to get a young horse up, and I don't know, can you get a 2-year-old trotter up in 4 weeks, or I guess they're probably at 3 and 4 preps, 14 weeks rather.
Yep.
They're probably at 3 and 4 preps. So the meter's ticking. It seems that they want to see those horses in the race, on the racetrack, so they're actually hopefully generating a return.
Yeah, no, there's arguments for and against both sides of it. There's no problems there at all, and hopefully for Sean, one day he gets one of those precocious 2-year-olds and he can come out and win the final with a good up and going 2-year-old, and it's a lot easier as well.
But we've talked about this, Paul, getting on to 4-year-olds. Again, my motivation's about selling horses down the track. The more black top I can get in a mare, I've said that, does there need to be room, particularly for 4-year-old fillies, when they tend to have less to race for as they get through to their 4th year? Yep. I don't have an answer, but it's something I'd certainly have a look at. I'd have a look at a 4-year-old race of some sort, because I think that could be useful.
Yep, no, it's absolutely, and I know you've been talking about those ones as well. We go on to the Pacers, $250,000 for the 2-year-old fillies, and also the 2-year-old Colts and Geldings, sponsored by Alabar, as they did last year. I'm presuming they're sponsoring both the and the 3-year-olds as well. I'll get to that in a second. But of course, with Harasta Trotters, Alabar, Woodlands, great supporters of Nutrien, it makes it a lot easier for you, Bardo.
Oh, look, 100%. Look, it's Harasta Trotters have really, they've created the opportunity for the trotting gate. When you look at the investment, look, you never ask, and it's not just the monetary support, but the work that Brett and Mark Hughes do, Brett Coffey, Mark Hughes, from their respective studs, to support the industry and certainly support us as we've tried to put some stuff together. It has been fantastic, and it's great to see both of those stud farms with their size well represented this weekend too, because I think that's an important part of what they need to get out of it. And I think breeders, they spend a lot of money breeding horses, and I guess that's something we were very conscious of not having select sales, because you potentially stifle an unknown stallion that could make its mark in the industry. So we were very mindful. Like, I know both those stables, you look at the dominance of Art Major and Better's Delight and American Ideal, for that matter. They're hard trying to find that next side to support the market. Yep,
absolutely. The last race is at 10:15. It's going to be it won't be a long night, but it's going to be a big night with some great races. Of course, the $150,000 Alabar Bloodstock Nutrien Equine Classic for the 3-year-old Colts and Geldings. So he's a return to Victoria, anyway, Bay of Biscay. He'll be coming back for some bit of redemption. if you like, because being beaten last year, and of course the Big Boss not in it, so it was one of the bigger races for the night. But there's so many big races, and so many stories.
Look, I think for me, what's really exciting is to see the Queenslanders bring a horse down.
Yeah.
They always be Mickey. I think he's interesting. I think credit where credit's due. You've got 3 winners by Poster Boy, which is it's a great story to see that happen. And I think you've got that to me is a really interesting 2-year-old race, because that they're still relatively light on racing, so the form's still emerging.
Yep, absolutely. I've just got that field up there in front of you, and it's going to be one of the little oddities about this race series, Barter. You're finally going to get an unbeaten Poster Boy is going to be beaten, because there's 3 of them in this race. It's anyone that's not aware, the Poster Boys that have won have not been beaten yet at the racetrack. It's Confidential's won 3 on the trot. Sagano had his first win the overnight at Ballarat, and the highlight reel has been 2 from 2. So one of those horses is going to get beat, but it's just a huge. It's terrific. I mean, great supporters of your sales with the guys at their name just left me. Bill and Ann Anderson, anyway, Lauriston Bloodstock, sorry, as well. So that's a horse that they've invested so heavily.
Bill and Ann are on the Gold Coast this weekend. They'll be watching, but they'll be sitting in sunny Queensland while the races go round. And it's interesting. We talk about distance, and It's Confidential ended up he's out of the draw as well. But again, on the distance, it's not. It's not the same impact that it would have had on a horse had it have been over the mile again, and that's my novice hat on saying that. I just think, well, okay, that horse is still a chance of being in the last 400 metres.
Absolutely. Rightio. Sales wrap. The sales results, I notice here, we're up to 70% clearance rate. I think hats off to you, mate. That's outstanding in what's been a trying year for all sales companies.
And that's nearly been the same at every single sale. And even talking to some of the guys in Thoroughbred, that's about the number.
Yep.
Driven by, there's less money out there economically. People are hurting. But also, breeder expectations, and I understand the cost of production. You think, well, I need this to make a return. But ultimately, a product's worth what someone's prepared to pay, and that's made that tougher. But you can nearly set your clock to a 70% clearance, it seems, this season. So.
Yep, got Cody Winnell. Cody Winnell on there. Hello to you, Cody. He mozzed me horse the other day. I don't know if I should be talking to him or not. Sales, sale average was 32,271, $4.1 million total sale. The trotters, 46 of 67 of those sold with a gross of over $1 million. I think that's outstanding, and they're just underneath that average at 68%. I think that's really encouraging for the trotters, because a lot of people seem to think the trotters are on the decline, where those numbers for mine don't say that. And then 83 of 120 of the paces. So, they're pretty impressive figures, I think, Mark.
And look, again, if you look at it, which we did do this, look at what the pacing average was when you compare Sydney to Melbourne. I think we're and again, I'm plucking this from memory. I think it was in the 37s, around 37,000 odd for pacing colts and fillies. Yep. Versus 42 in Sydney. So bigger catalogue, like I say, $200,000 sales in both sales. I thought an exceptional lineup of fillies in both catalogues this year, and I very careful to put one stable out there in lights, but I know beforehand we looked at the Durham Park draft of fillies, and they had look. We both commented on them. Like they were a really nice run of fillies, and I know they were genuinely keen to see those horses out there in other stables, and to get that top price filly for them, I was really excited for them. And it's not easy to keep the coats and keep them looking as good as they presented in that Ballarat climate this time of year.
No, absolutely. Cody Winnell's actually commented, sorry about that, mate. Win soon. Congratulations on a great sale, Mark. I think given the current economical climate out there, it was a fantastic result. And I think what Codes is trying to allude to there too is it's a fantastic result for Nutrien. It's a fantastic result for harness racing as well. It means there is still buyer confidence. People are still prepared to invest in the industry, albeit the amount of naysayers out there that try to say it's not going to happen, Mark.
Look, mate, at the end of the day, good businesses make their own luck, and I think, it is there are some tough times, and you got to look at the numbers. Like we talk about our cost of doing business, and I think what also the thing I love about it that there's plenty of naysayers about where the sport's at, but my background is always primary producer, and I look at the effort that goes into breeding great race horses or great genetics and great horses for the sport of racing in harness racing. We've got that part right. We've got nutrition right. We've got the way we breed a horse, the way we prepare a horse, all of the foundation for a great racing product's there. So we've got to look at what are the parts of the sport that we can work on. And again, I'm a novice in that spot. I'm not an expert in racing, but we got that part of it right. I do think harness racing is a bit like Australian cricket or world cricket, where I love Test cricket, but we've got to have it. What's the Big Bash form of that, so that you get people engaged and so we can see some of these young talents, because there's some of the people driving, and whether it's the jockeys, like their jockeys are personalities in capital cities now in galloping. We just got to, I think, break down little chunks of what we can do to make it fun. You look at even simple things like having a dog races at the trots at Wagga. The Dachshund races they've been the two biggest crowds that have been to the racetrack, and while they're seeing harness racing again.
Yeah, I agree, and like Brett Coffey is watching, Brittany Graham's there. There's plenty of people watching online who get it out there, but great to see Brittany at the sales and purchasing, and a bit of American interest there with Nancy Tactor as well, Bardo, which was awesome. But look, what Brett did in that parade ring showed a different light too. It's very serious business. And we don't want everyone coming in and mucking around. But at the same time, you've got to be able to show that we are an industry that enjoys having fun as well. And it's one of those little catches, isn't it?
It should be, if it doesn't have to be work every day. The problem, I guess, is not everyone can pull off the yellow Nikes like Brett Coffey can. That's where you want to be very careful trying that on. But look, and again, you look at any personality like Brittany. Brittany has got crossover into other products. So people they know her as an expert in all forms of racing. And I think again from a person that comes from an amateur sport of camp drafting, it's amazing when you get people that are credible and they've got crossover. They can draw people back in. I know the likes of the fact that the Canberra Raiders in rugby league. We've got some of the the Crokers and what have you that have been involved in harness racing. That does get a little bit of traction in New South Wales, and we've got to be mindful of that. You got Joey Picker that the family have bought Euroby. He's an NRL Grand Final winner. We've got a lot of other people we can talk to.
Yep, and he's a great bloke as well, and they've got some things going on which hopefully I'll be able to get out there. I will say, when Brittany Graham turned around and said Brittany Graham and Nancy Tactor, I think those sorts of things, when people say that, it gets you up and looking. And as an industry participant who wants to grow the industry, I think it's great for our industry to hear that we've got American investment coming into Australian racing, because that's exactly, I don't know how big a share Nancy's bought with Britt, whether they're 50-50 or whether she's bought her hair. It doesn't matter. We're going to have N Tactor as an owner, and hopefully next year lining up in the Nutrien sales races, which is just, start marketing it now, because it's a good way to market the tool that we're going to have. We might be able to get Nancy across here. I'm sure she'd like to come across here.
And she's not without form. I reckon Brittany had one make our very first final at Trotter, didn't she? From memory?
Don't throw me under the bus like that.
I reckon at Sydney race, I think she did have one make it to the final. So I'll stand corrected. But look, no, I think it is great. I think it's the other thing you do see is I was only talking to someone at this stock horse show here today, and they're saying about who's in harness racing. I said, look, there's some exceptional horsemen and women, and I said that's probably the bit that I love, getting around, seeing people that are great with horses, because I've learned a ton of stuff on how to tough to breed horses, or even tough to start horses, like some of the little tricks of the trade that these people that live and eat and breathe it. I think that's something like there's the before daylight hours, people are doing this work, or up all night getting live foals on the ground. But ultimately, we the people that we tend to focus on is the race day, but it's all the other stuff that I guess what's the fabric of Australia, isn't it? The hard work that goes into it.
Yep, absolutely. I think sometimes we forget and we take for granted what we actually have and what we actually do, and I'm big on that one as well. Tyler Dew from Invercargill. Hello to you again, my friend. It'll be nice and cold down there. Cody Winnell, in racing, we're a business of entertaining. Should never forget that. Brett wearing yellow shoes reminds me of when I first met him, and I had them on in the HRV offices. He may not remember, but I'm clearly a trendsetter, so he's claiming ownership to that. And Brittany is listening. Nancy's purchased half of the Elite Stride Fellow and picked him out. A great tick for our breed. Absolutely, Britt. I think well done for you for getting her involved. And from memory, was that the Glenferrie Burn colt or filly? That was the one that when I first saw it, I was like, wow, it had a real good look about it, that horse.
Look, take a little leaf out of we talked about him again, a colonial sire, and not again just to plug Alabar, but the Elite Strides, they were a sensational draft of yearlings by a new season sire, and I think that's like we say about not having select sales. I think who that horse is, it remains to be seen. But it's wonderful to see a North American interest in a colonial sire. I think that's really cool. That's something you want to see that work.
No, absolutely. I know Brittany's going over there soon. I might try and catch up with Nancy and dial her in and talk about Australian racing and American racing, because that's what we want. Just quickly, just back to those stats there, Bardo. The breakdown. So the sale topping filly was the perfect sense for Durham Park at 150,000. The Ala Vitesse Colt, Better's Delight. Both those actually were Better's Delight. Oh no, he wasn't. The Ala Vitesse. I'm in trouble now. No, he was. I can't remember actually what he was by. He was a sale topping colt, and then the sale topping trotter was out of Miss Sweden at 220,000. Sorry, for the Ala Vitesse. Great figures at the top end, but of course those averages as well. 25,000 for the trotting fillies and 30 for the pacers. 42 for the pacing colts and down to 20 for the trotters, which is interesting that more people were keener to pay more for the fillies. And then, that Miss Sweden, of course, was a gelding. There was only two geldings offered up. One was a pacer and one was a trotter. So that's why they were the number ones. But they're terrific figures as well. Still have a couple still to buy as well, Mark. I've got the pacers up here on the screen, but I've actually got your phone number going across with the ticker. We want people, if they are still interested, it's the only way, if you haven't got a horse yet, it's the only way you're going to get involved in the 2025 race series, because you have to have a horse. There's none that you can buy afterwards, and here are the trotters as well. Some really, really nice horses still available there for people to purchase.
Mate, and I know a little bit of, I know you did a little reel for us there earlier, that, or it might have been yesterday or today, just promoting this weekend sales. And just interesting, you've got Prince of Rock's half sister was actually lot one in the first lot, 162, first lot in the sale this weekend, or weekend just gone. But that's that's a horse that's still for sale. So there's one that's a half to last year's 3-year-old trotting colt winner. And I think there's some quality horses still on our buy now, which you can see on our website. And they can still be paid up for the Nutrien Race Series. And I think most breeders want to, well, not most, all breeders, they breed them to sell them. They want to see them sold. So if you haven't bought one, it's there's some fairly modestly priced horses, and there's some exceptionally well-bred horses there too. That's
the other kicker too. There are still some very, very well-bred horses that you've got the opportunity to go and see them and still get involved, pay up for the race series, and you can be a part of this, which this year is 1.2 on Saturday night. But like you said, effectively $1.3.5 million in stake money for 2 and 3 year old pacers that you can purchase at a sale. Brittany Graham's going to have Nancy Tactor's Elite Stride there next year, along with so many other people, and that's what we want.
Yeah, look, and mate, I know myself, just having bought one, we've participated in the sale, just more to understand and learn it and have a bit of fun. But it is exciting. We've got I've got my little fellas, mate, an 11-year-old. We finish at the Stock Horse Show and we get home, unpack the horses, and next morning we're off to Melbourne to watch. We've got a filly in the 2-year-olds and a filly in the 3-year-old pacing finals, and that's fun to be part of it, mate. Not you pay for the horse, you sustain it, but it's like seeing my boys ride here today. You own the horse for 52 weeks, but there's snapshots in the season that make it really fun. And regardless of where they finish, it's exciting to be part of these sort of events, these bigger events.
Yep, absolutely. Fireproof through the car park again. I reckon that horse is cruel for you.
Mate, she's on her form line doesn't look as good as the little filly. She ended up in the consolation of the 3-year-olds at Bathurst. She's only ever done it once. She broke in the heats, and I know we changed a bit of gear this season as she came back as a 3-year-old, and she did all the prep unreal, and then she broke on the first turn in that. But then she just couldn't get a run on. I know Matty Rue had her at Bathurst and actually said, look, she was full of running at the end. We just couldn't get a split. But she's a nice horse. There's some very nice horses in that race. But again, we're really pleased with the way she's going. And I think what she does this year and next year is where we've got a sound racehorse that we can still have a bit of fun for a couple more years.
Yep, and of course then you got Sugar Rush in the 2-year-old fillies, who's drawn a lot better and did win first up and was okay, I thought, the last start as well. So she had a virus which we scratched her out of the tiara at Bathurst. Didn't want to risk her, so she's probably a run short of where we'd like it to have been. But again, she's a stay hungry, and they're exciting, mate. We bought her on that basis. She's New South Wales, but we bought her out of the Queensland sales because she was eligible for the Sunshine Stars in spring. So we wanted to go and have a run round, and then we'll give her a well-earned break after this, and then we'll look to try and set her for the middle of the year or the second half of the year with the Sunshine Stars on a radar as well. Photo, Winter Woolies will be here shortly.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I've got the jacket back on. I've actually got the classic. I've got the classic ladies hat on. I didn't have all my hats. I was running under pressure. I thought I better go neutral. So look after the classic ladies, who do great fundraising for so many organisations in the outback, basically. So at Tamworth. So if you want one of these hats, this is one of last year's models, I think. I don't think.
Yeah, look, the best thing there, they're all volunteers. They're ladies that virtually all of them have had a personal experience with a health issue, and they've actually cracked in 7 years. They cracked $1 million in funds raised, and it always goes to they do a lot of homework to find. And if anyone's got a charity out there, EBs actually, which Tough Tilly was an ambassador for. They supported the EB Foundation this year as one of the 2 charities, and that was actually pretty cool because there was a crossover between our friends in camp drafting and in standardbred. You know, it drew their attention to that affliction, which until I'd become involved in this sport, I didn't know much about it or knew nothing about it. But yeah, so if anyone's got a good, worthy cause, they're very careful that it's 95% of the money goes to the source, that it doesn't get soaked up in administration, and they're very careful that it has strong roots in regional and rural communities. So
I'm going to actually catch up with Darren Clayton very shortly as well, because there's some terrible news coming out of Queensland with some of the participants, some of the guys who purchased with yourself, some of the guys who worked alongside of us as well. So we'll touch on that as well. So please stay if you're involved with that as well. Winter Woolies will be back upon us. You're not resting on your laurels, Bardo. You're not happy with 5 sales either. You're prepared to continue to try and grow this industry.
Look, mate, we the winter sale, the online sale, I think we originally talked about trying to do one every quarter. We struggled to get the support to make the catalogue worthwhile, so we're going to stick with an annual sale at this stage. But that'll be the first weekend the first week in June again. So we'll get some stuff out straight after this weekend's races and start promoting that. It'll be $250 plus GST to list a horse, and it's everything from weanlings, ready to run, racing horses, other yearlings, or broodmares. So that's there. But we've had a few people talk to us about the prospect of having even a later weanling sale, like a physical sale or a select broodmare sale. And I don't know, with your people that listen or watch your show, I'd love to get more feedback on that. Is there opportunity to try and line up 30 or 40 or 50 weanlings like they do in New Zealand and have a weanling sale where people can pinhook one, or they can pay up early for Nutrien if that was the case. So I'd be keen to field interest, obviously, to go and physically run a sale. You'd love to have 100 lots to make it worthwhile. Does it have to be at Oaklands Junction in Victoria, or is there another spot that would accommodate that type of event.
Yep.
Maybe it's at Alabar, Brett.
You don't know if Brett's still on. He's been very quiet. We've been throwing enough rocks at him, and he hasn't come back at us. He hasn't even texted me once, so he might be being a bit quiet, or he might be nervous that I've got that video still to come, but I haven't. I will get it. It will go out on socials. I can promise you that, because it was a bit of fun. Mark, thank you. I will let you go and continue. Enjoy a couple of days off, and look forward to catching up with you Saturday night. Of course, they will all be shown on Trots Vision. And well done to Harness Racing Victoria too. Got to say thanks to them, Mark. Actually, sorry for. They did showcase the sales, the parade and the sales on there. We had a little bit of conjecture. Some people were trying to say it should have been real-time live, but Trots Vision, even when they show the trots, is not real-time live. It was to facilitate people who may not normally be in that sales ring, and it was just great that they came on board and took it with some gusto, and really took some pride in presenting that product out there as well.
Look, the thing is, I'd say for me, this started in Brisbane 2 years ago with the crew at Albion Park. When you work alongside a committee or an organisation that wants to do everything they can to support you and be successful, I think that's important. And for us, Greg Gangle left as the boss at Wagga Paceway, so Riverina Paceway. So I got to know Greg pretty well while he was at Wagga, and he and I have worked on this weekend coming up now. And again, he's been, not to name just one, the team at HRV behind the doors have been very supportive, and working with a bloke like Greg, who's got North American, Northern Hemisphere experience, and just such a positive influence. That's why I know harness racing in Victoria and in Australia are in good shape. There's some fantastic people in the sport, and administrating it, it'll only get better. So you got someone like that makes it a lot of fun. But like I said, when we work closely with Racing Queensland and Albion Park, and now we're seeing the same happening with HRV, I think that makes the sales process stronger, and we're really pleased to be part of it.
No, Righto, thank you. Really appreciate you coming on and talking. As I said, I'll probably catch up with you Saturday night, whether we do an interview or not. But we'll continue to go, and well done, and thank you very much for everything over the last few days. It's been a lot of fun. I don't even think you and I had a stern word to each other, did we?
Mate, I think we nail most things, and you know exactly what I'm like behind the scenes. There's a lot of paddling under the water, but we like to try and do it as well as we can. And if we've got one positive, we are very passionate about trying to do the best we can. We won't always get it right, but we'll fail fast when we get it wrong, But Sydney was good. Melbourne's a bit of a grand final because it's the last physical half of the season, and I think the Nutrien team. Really, behind the scenes, which the clients don't see it, but it impacts the clients because the team was unreal, and that means that they present themselves and they present the right support to the sales function, whether that's buyer or seller. So, we love what we do, and we want to get better at it, and look forward to this weekend, mate, and wish everyone every success. Hopefully, there's another. Well, there'll be a great story that comes of it, and I look forward then to the back end of the year to see these Nutrien graduates continue to evolve and become a household name in the sport.
No, totally agree, and I can say with a bit of help from Harasta Trotters, we're going to be following a lot of those trotters going forward as well in their endeavours with what they're going to do to be able to keep up with those. You can get in touch with Mark Barton and Gemma Smallman. Go to nutrienequine.com.au. There's 47 yearlings still available. But thank you. Good luck to the boys tomorrow, mate. Wish them all the best.
Look, they're about to get a steak and some pasta at the barbie at the truck tonight, and they're my little fella James is talking up a storm on what he's going to achieve after he made a couple of little mistakes on patterns today, and he's all over it this time. He reckons he'll nail it tomorrow, he told me. So
just tell him he needs a good night. He needs a good night's sleep, but he'll be fine. Right, mate.
No, they'll have a lot of fun, and it's why we do it, mate. It's just like the mini trots for the people in that sport. It's what makes them good horsemen and women. And today, losing a couple of events teaches them how to the fun of success when you do get it right. Even more, it's sweeter when you do win then.
Absolutely. I've just got the Yabby Dam Farms ticker along the bottom. Of course, great supporters of Nutrien. Mate, thank you.
Good, mate.
Catch you Saturday night.
Sounds great, mate. Appreciate your time.
And we have Mark Barton there joining me. Thank you for everyone that's got involved there too with the conversation. That's what this show is about. It is on Loose Lines. It's about promoting harness racing, but it can come in from anywhere, including poor old Joe Pace, who thinks he deserves another hat. He might have had the wing nuts sticking out a little bit too far as I walked past, and just couldn't resist. But yeah, well done to him, and I do think well done to all the people selling the horses as well with the Nutrien. They did get on board. She can be long days, trying to get the best prices for some of these yearlings, so it can definitely be long. We've got plenty still to get through on the show. Never know, Brett Graham, you might end up getting a phone call at some stage, but I won't threaten something that I can't guarantee, because I've got some important information. Darren was going to send me a text message. I was just hopefully we can get him on the phone. So he's there, but for some reason, not sure what happened then. It's what technology does. Hang up on one person. Yeah, we're right. And the other one doesn't come through. So, but you're there this time, aren't you, mate?
Yeah, hi. I was wondering if Paul was there, please.
Darren, how might you be, my friend?
Yeah, very good, very good. How are you?
Modern technology. I hit the end button on Mark Barton, hit the ring button on Darren Clayton, and it decides it doesn't want to play the game. I love technology. Sometimes that is for sure, but it can be very, very tiring going out. We got a couple of things to discuss tonight, Darren, and unfortunately one is not great. What is that ringing?
That's just my alarm letting me know that I have to talk to you.
Very good.
Told you I'd be ready.
You need to do something about that alarm. It was very, very high pitch. Anyone still watching, of course, we're going to talk a bit of Queensland at the minute, and unfortunately not the greatest news for a couple of people, but I am also going to have Gerald Moloney is going to come on in regards to Swan being cancelled tonight, plus potentially some other people as well. Who knows when this show could finish? It could never finish, none the way I go. That is for sure. But Darren, I'm just trying to get this page up and going. Some terrible news coming out of Queensland just the other day in relation to four harness stalwarts, if you like, harness racing participants, and a GoFundMe page has been set up for these guys called Four Harnessed for the fight of their life.
Yeah, so four guys, close to the industry, and three of them trainers. One of them has worn plenty of hats. So Jack Butler, trainer, former driver, has driven in some big races. Dudley Warburton, who's a trainer, a little bit older than a couple of the other guys, but still had a long involvement in the sport. Greg Elkins, a trainer and the dad of Matt and Justin, who both good drivers and trainers in their own right, and Dan Costello. So if you've ever seen a photo in the past, probably 7 or 8 years from Albion Park, Redcliffe, or Kilcoy, thereabouts, chances are it's been taken by Dan or one of his staff. He's him and his main offsider, Toby. They're two-time Joseph Calder Media Award winners for Harness Racing Australia, the best action photo. And Dan is also battling some health. So those four guys, Jack, Dudley, Greg and Dan, all facing sort of similar battles. Well, not similar battles, all got their own battles at their own time and all in different circumstances. And that's just an unfortunate turn of events. So Jack has been diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, Jack Butler.
Yep.
So he is about to undergo some treatment, some chemotherapy. He'll do a few rounds of that. Then they suggest that he would likely then have surgery, and then more chemotherapy following that surgery. As for Dan Costello, he got diagnosed with bladder cancer not long after the Inter-Dominion. He'd been crook leading up to that. And, they diagnosed him with bladder cancer, and then they've found a few other things along the way, unfortunately, with Dan. So he'll undergo chemotherapy and immunotherapy. He's got a big battle ahead of him. Dudley Warburton.
Just on Dan there, one thing that really rang home, and if you're thinking about donating, this is This is his own words. Whilst this cancer is not curable, in my case, we are hoping for effective treatments that I will enjoy many more years of servicing harness racing industry. He wrote it himself. It really kicks home when you read that, when it says that it's not curable, but he's hoping to stay a part of the industry. That's the sort of person he is, and that's where this GoFundMe page has been set up for these guys.
Yeah, and I guess part of that too, Paul, is a lot of them, or each on their own, probably didn't want to put their hand up for some help, and it's just the way people are. They battle through their own battles, and they'll take some help if it comes along, but not outwardly ask for that help. What each of them sort of in turn along the way has said, well, if it's for all of us, well then, happy to be involved in it. And so Gail Garrard and the Embracing Pacing team, that's where they come up with the idea of being for all four for the gentlemen, and then it'll be split out equally amongst the four, any money raised from this GoFundMe. So, Dan was, really self-employed like most trainers and drivers sort of typically are, and his main income is from the race photography, and does plenty of good photos. I'm lucky enough to have quite a few of his photos on my wall of horses that I've owned that he's taken pictures of me, and he's well loved and respected within the industry, and you'll see him all the Redcliffe and
I think that's me. I think that's Darren's just disappeared. I'll just try Darren again. It may have been me.
I lost you there. Where'd I get up to?
You was just talking about Dan with the photos and that. I actually sidetracked you with Dudley too, just there before with his illness as well. So which is, just not nice either, mate, I must say. He's gone again. I can hear him, I just can't hear him. You there, mate?
I can hear you now. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah,
the line was there, but there was no action.
Okay, sorry about that. So we're just talking about Dudley.
Yeah, so Dudley's been diagnosed with T-cell lymphoma. So he will undergo his own sort of treatment there. Dudley's had, a bit more of a sort of a battler trainer, just, poke around with a horse or two, but he's had a lot of luck in the recent years with a horse called Buck the System. A bit of a mixed training regime with Buck the System. He'd send him out for a bit of riding and rodeo work, and then he'd bring him back in and put him back in work, and he's won quite a few races, old Buck. So, Dudley's got his own battle, and then Greg Elkins, I guess, is one that probably strikes pretty hard for a lot of people out there. Greg was just out feeding a horse. I was on about mid-February, and that horse that horse kicked him in the back. Now, he was sort of in a bit of a bad way, and he went to hospital. He had a few broken ribs, and but then they realised that it's the spleen has been shattered as a result. He went into emergency surgery, and he hasn't been out of hospital since. So he's been in hospital since then. A good bit of positive news. On Tuesday, he was moved out of the intensive care unit for the first time. So he's been in ICU that entire period. He was in an induced coma for a long time. He's had multiple surgeries. They had a lot of problems with blood clotting in his lungs and what have you as a result. But then they tried to fix the clot, but then it would keep bleeding. So it's been a long road for the Elkins family, and hopefully, like I said, he's moved on to a ward just the other day. So hopefully that's a positive that he's on the up.
On the GoFundMe page, it basically says that countless life-saving operations and surgeries, and is now out of a coma but remained in ICU. Now, I would imagine they would update these things pretty regularly. So that is just dead set, just happening. So, you need to. I'm pretty sure I've done this right. hopefully you can help me here. So when you go to the GoFundMe, if you go for 4 harnessed for the fight of their life, is that how it works?
Yep. So you can go, if you looked at it is on the creek.com.au website. We've got a story up there with the direct link, or our
Facebook page.
Or X Twitter pages. The link's there as well. So that's there. But if you can even Google 4 harnessed GoFundMe, and that'll take you to it. And if anyone hasn't participated in a GoFundMe before, it is very simple. It's just click on the link. You can do credit or debit card transaction on there. It's all very, very safe. There's no concerns there. And hopefully we can get a bit of a kick along. There has been some really good uptake in the few days that it's been running. Some good funds have already rolled in for these guys, which is really pleasing to see. Yeah,
it's at 50. Oh, that'd be right. My buffet would have to be in the way. It does too. $52,930 raised. They're trying to hit a target of $20,000 all up. 33 people have donated, and plenty of people there. There's anonymous people, right through to people who want to be known. Give a little, give a lot. It doesn't matter. It's actually the point of this is that these 4 gentlemen of our industry from all different walks of life and have got something. Unfortunately, different with them all. As I said, if you go onto this GoFundMe page, you can read more about what is going on there. It's terrible just reading all 4 of the gentlemen and what they're going through.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I say, it sort of hits home a number of ways. Like nearly everyone's had someone they know affected by cancer. So, everyone probably knows how hard those battles are. And then, like I say, just with, horsemen out there, horsewomen, children, it's the nature of the industry a little bit that, working with animals, things can happen, and can be something completely innocuous turns into, for Greg's case, like a life-changing situation.
Yeah, and we've all been kicked and we think, we'll be right, we'll be able to walk it off. I'm pretty sure he probably thought the same thing at the time, but and 16th of February, and he's only just got out of intensive care, let alone out of hospital. So, And
they've had so Greg had quite a few horses in work, and he's had a really good association with Paul and, it's not Paul, Peter, I think it is, Leslie Medhurst from South Australia, and unfortunately Leslie just passed away last week as well from cancer. They've been big time breeders, grandfather of and grandmother of Jason Finnis. Greg's had a long association with them and had a lot of success with their breed of horses here in Queensland. So sort of a bit of a double whammy there, but Matt and Greg are continuing, Justin and Matt are continuing on for Greg, and the horses have been farmed out to sort of different trainers to be able to keep them going. And they were lucky enough to get a winner last week at Redcliffe with Mafioso Girl. So that's a nice boost for the family to get a winner on the board.
Oh, I bet it is. It would have been a welcome distraction, I would imagine, too.
Yeah, absolutely. And we did a bit of a go around the stables there last week and just put together a bit of a video that just went straight to Greg. We didn't put it up anywhere, just everyone just wishing him well and hopefully give him a little bit of a spark. And not saying that's the reason, but obviously he's sort of on the improve that he's onto that ward now. So hopefully that improvement continues.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I must say I've got to stop actually reading them. It's like Dudley there, he's down to 57 kilos. I unfortunately don't know Dudley, but yeah, he just thought he was getting old and was having a bit of weight loss, and unfortunately now he's got a hell of a fight on his hands as well. So, but like I say, Dan's unfortunately just really kicks home. So, and such a lovely person. They're all great people. Jack's been part of this show, I suppose, all of last year, especially leading into the Inter-Dominion. He was very passionate. He'd come on anytime I'd ask, and it's just terrible, sad news for the industry. Full stop, mate.
Yeah, it is, and we can sort of turn a little bit of a positive for them, and like we said, we're we're an industry and a sport that really gets behind our own, and this is the time that we really need to dig in for each other.
Yep, absolutely. And I wish all of those families all the best going forward. I know just Jack's still got plenty of horses going around, Chloe, and everyone else has kicked into gear there to keep those going around. So that's absolutely. Kath McIntosh is actually watching as we speak now, and the horse she sold just recently was there for the pancreatic cancer as well, so to raise awareness as well. So that was the Soho Tribeca. I can't remember the mare that it's out of. I'm very sorry, Kath, but yep, and that's all funds raised out of that horse are to try and help find a cure, because they can't find a cure. And of course, you know, Kath's behind that because she's been touched by it as well as so many of us unfortunately have been. It's just one of those things that we all seem to get touched by it. But hopefully they can find a cure and can help everyone along in their journey, and get back to enjoying the industry.
Yeah, that's it. And any little bit can help. Especially if you've backed a winner lately, if you can maybe just donate a few winnings. But yeah, anyone help where they can, and we always tend to do that. So yeah, let's get some positivity.
No, and cheer Jack home if you're watching a race and you haven't got a bet in it, or you haven't had anything in it. Back for Jack at the minute. He's got quite a team going around on Saturday night. That is for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's still ticking the winners over, and Chloe and Tara and the team. Adam Richardson helps out there, and Nathan Rothwell's been doing a lot of driving for him. So yeah, they're all chipping in and making sure that team's still winning races.
Yep, which is what we want. Just looked at one thing. This is a curveball for you. Marburg next Tuesday. What's going on there?
So Saturday night, the Albion Park will finish. We'll undergo some resurfacing, so the track will be ripped up, resurfaced, put down. They'll start as soon as the last race is finished Saturday night. That'll, all being equal, we'll be back racing next Friday. So we just means we only lose one meeting, and this year they opted to take it to Marburg on the Tuesday. So Redcliffe will race Sunday night, and Marburg will get a Tuesday afternoon slot. So country racing at Marburg on the 700 metre oval. So looking forward to that as just a little bit of a change, but that'll have us back racing at the Creek for next Friday. We do it every year, sort of remediation works and get the track right up and ship shape ready for the Constellation. So come July, when we have those 4 Saturdays in July, the real meat of the carnival, the track will be in super order. Yep.
It will be exciting. Hopefully I can get up there. Hopefully the boys at Racing Queensland or the Creek, happy to get me up there. But anyway, I'll just keep throwing those ones out there. Don't worry about that. Just got to be a bit careful, because I have got a little trip to England planned, so I better be a wee bit careful. I'm going over to the Vincent Delaney Memorial. So On Loose Lines could be coming live from an Irish bar one night, which would be very, very loose, Darren. That's to say the least.
Yes. If you do need a cameraman or a bag carrier or someone else, just hit me up.
No, I spoke to him yesterday. He's fine. He said he doesn't even need Dad to sign off on it, so it's all good.
Oh, okay.
Just a couple of other things going. Well, the Constellations, how is everything looking there? Protostar, the inaugural running of that this year. The Great Square for, I'm going to say, the second year. Hopefully it's only the second year. I might be in trouble if it's the third.
Yeah, correct. It's only the second year. So Protostar, we've had our first horse, first slot owner announced. So Fade Awaits.
Who's racing around in the Saturday night, yeah.
Yeah, in the Nutrien Classic Colts and Geldings final. So Ladbrokes, who are the sponsor of the Protostar, they have snapped up Fade Awaits. So a bit of an interesting one, because owned by Kevin and Kay Seymour, who do have their own slot. So I don't know what to read into that, whether maybe they've got one better than Fade Away sitting at home that's yet to be produced.
It does make things interesting, doesn't it?
Yeah, so, but fair play to them, because they get the opportunity to get a couple of horses in there now, or they might not. They might have something completely
They might get one of Clayton Tompkins. I was just looking here; he's got 4 in it. They might say that'll do us.
Yeah.
We'll take one of those. They might see if Fader Waits gets rolled this weekend. They might take the one that beats him and take him back up there. And they got
it could be a stroke of genius.
It could be. It could be indeed. There's a lot to play out. The Great Square, sponsored by Harass the Trotters. It's all ready to go.
Yep. So there's already been a few invites there. So Not As Promised has been invited. The defending champion London to a Brick, who'll be a 4-year-old this year. He's been invited. And Miles Horse, Rockin' With Attitude, she's been invited as well. So those 3 confirmed invites at this stage. We're keeping an eye across the country and across the ditch, keeping an eye on all performances there for the next invites. This year there will be 8 invites for the Rising Sun and for the Great Square. So you want to shore up an invitation in that. You need to get your horse performing to get it before us. So those ones will be there. So that's the Proto Star as well. So yeah, it's all coming ahead.
Yep, absolutely. And we've also got some cards, some limited edition cards for Larry or Leap to Fame.
Yeah, so I've got these made up. Last year in the Inter-Dominion, Paul, I saw you took a photo of someone who had a pair of Black Fake shoes on. Now,
Greg Sugars.
It was Greg Sugars, was it?
Yep.
Well, I did some digging and digged around, and I've found out a graphic artist who was most likely the guy who sold them, because I found them on his website. Got in contact. We've done some toing and froing, and we've come up with the 2023 Grand Circuit trading card of Larry. So it's a limited edition. It's limited to only 50, but it'll actually be limited to 48 because Grant Dixon and the Seymours will be presented with a special one of those. So there's only 48 of them, and I'll get my hands on these little bad boys tomorrow morning. So looking forward to them. The design work's been super. They'll come in a hard plastic case. They're limited, as I said, to 50. And they'll be going on sale once I get hold of them and can put them into our system on the creek.com.au. So if anyone wants to reach out to me beforehand, by all means, get hold of me, and we might be able to do a little pre-sale for customers of Campbell's Comments. And
what do we do? The express code is CC. Just mention CC and you'll get a 15% discount.
Yeah. So I'll get them out. I'll get them tomorrow. I picked them up from the post office. There's been a little bit of a mix up along the way with a few different things, but finally they're here, and we're hopefully good to go. And just something a bit different. We'll see what sort of uptake they get. I know, years gone by, I used to love the old footy cards and what have you. Funny to say that Ken Rutherford, the COO at the Creek, he's a former New Zealand opening batsman.
Played a bit of cricket, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, for New Zealand, a Test cricketer. I actually got a cricket card of his. So from when I used to collect those cards. So I'm sure, hopefully, that they go well. The other ones that I do have, they were a limited edition a few years back. They brought them out for the World Drivers' Championship one year when it was held in Australia. And I've got a set of those as well somewhere. I'll have to dig them out.
I can remember Mickey's when I'm going back a day or two, and I was 16, so 35 years ago, unfortunately, 16, 17, Mickey's used to have all the horses, so you could get the Village Kids. Just trying to think of a couple of the other ones that I did see. Sinbad Bay, I reckon, was one of those. Our Maestro, they actually had a few of those cards as well, and I don't know what I did with those, but they were the same thing, and they were very popular. Because middies were also with the thoroughbreds, Vo Rogue, and I'm trying to think of the other horse I did get at the time. But there was some terrific ones back then in the day. But I am showing my age. A lot of people will be saying Sinbad who, but He wasn't a bad horse. Bag Limit, actually, that was the other one as well. Yeah, so yeah, they went pretty fair. A couple of those horses, that's for sure. So still one of the greatest ever presentations ever. Bag Limit winning the Winfield. That's how long ago. Smokes were the
Is
spots.
that where Vinny gave someone in the crowd a tune up?
He expressed that they should pull their head out of their backside. He used a few more colourful words for what I'm going to use, and learn to do his form properly. It was, yeah, it did send the crowd into a bit of a spaz actually, because some people were on the bloke's side, so they sort of wanted to fight Vinny, and anyone who knew Vinny, he was happy to bring it on. He was quite happy to bring it up there. So yeah, yeah. Nellie Melba, she's there. She's actually asking to put them on postage stamps. I don't know if that's one of the giggles I was just having there, Nellie, when Darren was talking about a couple of delays. I'm tipping the Australian Post was probably involved in one of those, Darren.
I don't know whether to bag him yet, because I haven't actually picked him up from the. They've told me they're there.
Keep your powder dry until next time we talk, and then you can. I tell this story. I don't know. Cambrai is on there. I've got to do some promotion. I'll do a shameless promotion while you and I are doing this with the. That's the wrong one. I'll put that one up in a second. But anyway, with the weanling sales coming on. But one year, Cam kept asking me. He said, "Have you got your catalogues yet? You got your catalogues?" And I didn't, and then they arrived, and it must have been the yearling sales, not this weanling sale that's on March 23rd. I'm waiting for that date to come through. Yeah, it is March 23rd, but they arrived, and I went to I said to him, "Yep, I've got them," because there was a few people asking for them. It's all good. When I opened the box, it was a Kiwi teddy bear, and it was addressed to some person, and it turned out they must have dropped the box, and it was in the wet. Because when I finally got the box, everything was pretty much destroyed. And the stickers, obviously, or the labels have come off. So they've just guessed and put the labels onto the other things. So, yeah, so I eventually got that box of catalogues. He sent another one. I got that box of catalogues when I returned from New Zealand. And about a week later, they actually turned up. It's just... and they wonder why no one wants to send stuff via the post anymore. So yeah, it's a comedy of errors, that's for sure. So yeah. But but that weanling sale is on the 23rd of May at Karaka. I will be there covering that as well for the NZB and Air New Zealand as well. So looking forward to that one as well. But coming up, but hopefully I'll get to Queensland as well, Darren. Mate, thank you very much. I'll take that ticket down just in case for anyone that wants to get involved. 4 harnessed for the fight of their life. 4 gentlemen. Get in trouble with the GoFundMe page. Easiest ways to do it, you could probably even walk into Garrard's, but the easiest way to do it, just go to the Creek website or the Creek Facebook page and scroll down. You'll find it there. Follow the links to that. So well done you, and well done to Garrard's as well, mate, getting behind this. They donate, they sponsor a lot of races, they do a lot of great things, but this is probably one Gail obviously instigated and got it up and running as well. Just a little bit different to her and Ken. Well done to both of them.
Yep, 100%. Echo everything you said there, and yeah, hopefully these 4 guys and all their families can hold in there for the fight and ride it out. Yep,
look forward to seeing them all back at a racetrack very, very shortly, mate. So, Darren, thank you. We'll be calling on you. Don't you worry about that for the next few weeks. We'll be covering a lot more of the Queensland racing coming up as well. So, thank you very much, mate.
No worries, mate. I'll go in and get that passport application sorted for Ireland.
Thank you very much. See you, mate.
See ya.
We could have had a trip for that, actually, going forward. There was enough people who wanted to get involved in that. So, yeah, so please, 4 Harnessed for Life, make sure you get involved with that going forward. Have to go Bulldogs. Oh, Joe's dumping me for the footy. You're not getting one of these hats either, Joe. These ones you got to pay for these ones because they go through there. That's the wrong one. I worked all this out, but I didn't get any other thing. But yeah, the National Weanling Sale will be at Karaka. I think there's a few people. We need a Breen and a few others. I that will be attending that is for sure. But it's on Thursday, May 23rd. Then the next night is actually Row Cup at Auckland, so huge night. Make sure you stay there for the weekend. Fly home Sunday, or you can fly home Saturday. I think the Saturday flight's about a 3 o'clock flight, so it gets in a bit late, but Sunday morning you can fly home as well, and enjoy it. Get over there a day or two earlier and have a lot of fun. One of the more relaxed and terrific sales you can go to, that is for sure. I got the first day stamp cover of San Simeon somewhere in a drawer. Desiree, the first day stamp cover of San Simeon. I wonder what the first day stamp means. But anyway, might have been the first run of them that they had, but somewhere in a drawer. It's probably there with my cards. Don't forget to, at that weanling sale, the team at Woodlands will be offering up 41 weanlings there by all of their draft. Stands by all their drafts, sorry. So the opportunity to buy Better's Delights, Sweet Lou down by the seaside, What the Hill, geez, I'm in trouble now. His name's right there on the tip of my tongue too. He won the Breeders' Crown. He also won the Great Southern Star, and it's just left me, but it might come back, it might not. American Ideal and Lather Up are all represented in there. Plus there is a yearling down by the seaside out of In the Money, actually, is also going to be offered up at that sale. So 41 of the 106 lots being offered up at the NZB sale will be there for Woodlands. Going to get hold of Gerald Moloney now, because there was a little bit going on today on social media. Speeding Spur, good man, Gerald. He saved me, and I know he's watching as well. So he's if he doesn't answer his phone, he might have been watching the show on his phone. Don't know. Surely he's going to answer me. He showed his hand to say that he's there. So right. Just sent me a message to say that Speeding Spur was a horse, and he's not answering his phone. I'll give him a minute or two as well. So huge thank you as well to Woodlands, who great supporters of Campbell's comments, Nutrien, and a lot of this, other things going on. I'm actually going to a dinner tomorrow night with Mark Hughes and really looking forward to it. Now, unfortunately, Jared, are you there, Jared?
Yep, all good.
Good as gold. It is coming through. I was worried it wasn't coming through then, but it is. Firstly, welcome back.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
Well, it's a little bit of a different one, this one, that's for sure. But firstly, how is everything going in Swan Hill? A little bit going on there tonight. Unfortunately, no races.
Yeah, unfortunately, no races. Look, we had a super program on with 9 races, big fields. We were really looking forward to it, but unfortunately, there was a car accident near the police station, which is just near the racecourse. Put a pole out of action, and power was out for probably 25% of the town, I reckon. And unfortunately, it probably still hasn't been put back on again. They're talking somewhere between 9 and 12 o'clock. The power will be back in action again.
So effectively, the car crashed into it. Stewards were en route, and basically you rang the stewards straight away and said, "Listen, we got no chance."
We rang the stewards and said, "Look, this is the situation," and they said, "Look, we'll keep coming, but just keep us in the loop." We sort of chased up with the power core and the powers to be. They were saying, look, originally they were saying 3 o'clock that was going to be right, but once we actually got to the head people, they were saying, look, it's going to be closer to 12 o'clock that it'll be returned on. And we sort of spoke to the stewards again, and they decided that it was too risk to run the meeting. We've got a generator, so the track lighting would have been fine. There would have just been no power for the stabling area. And the stewards, there would have been no power or internet available for them to do their business. And OH&S wise, it just wasn't a goer.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I think social media, a few people were saying that there was, the thoroughbred people said there's a generator here, we can still put the races on. I think someone might have been a bit cheeky there and said that, and of course everyone then believes it instead of sort of saying, well, hang on, what is really going on here? But effectively, the generator would have run the lights. it wouldn't have run the toilets in the drivers' rooms. It wouldn't have been able to cook any food, keep any drinks cold. There'd be none of those, let alone a steward's inquiry with no TVs. And I would imagine even potentially the guys broadcasting it, the camera gurus, I'm going to call them creative technology, which is who they are, would possibly have had troubles themselves. They might have generators to run their truck, but they would still have had issues around the track being able to be able to broadcast, or they wouldn't be able to broadcast it because they probably wouldn't be able to get into the race callers. There's a whole raft of other issues going on there, isn't there?
Even the judges, they're in the judges'
Of course.
tower. They need power to do the photo finishes, so none of that would be up and available. Even just simple things to get the horses onto the track. Once you go out of the program at Swan Hill, there's probably about a 200-metre chute that you go around. If there's no lights on there, it's very, very dark and very dangerous. So simple things like that. We would have loved to have had it. We were really revved up, ready to go. But unfortunately, the stars didn't align for us.
Yeah, I just get a little bit frustrated because I was made aware of it not long before coming on, and I rang you and asked if you'd come on and explain it, because I think, you know, the great I suppose thing that annoys me the most about our industry is how quickly we are to turn on everyone and say, oh, they're, you know, trying to hold us back and they're trying to do this deliberately and all the rest. Unfortunately, someone's had a car crash. Hopefully that person is okay for a start. And in a freak accident has wiped out the power in Swan Hill. Now, it could have happened yesterday and it could happen tomorrow. But it's just the timing. It's just happened on the same night as what you guys were down to race.
Yep. Certainly the stars didn't align. I think the stewards have done the correct thing. I mean, you have a look outside now, 7:21, and you wouldn't be able to put the gear on the horse. You wouldn't know whether you put it on right or not. So, you know, no stable lighting or anything like that. It's just highly impractical to think that we could have raced.
Yeah, and I can imagine actually the one part I will say, Jared, there'd be a lot of people would be like, oh, no video footage in a steward's room. This will be a lot of fun, but that can't happen. Must be frustrating for the club. You don't get a lot of opportunities to race. You know, your struggles of getting full fields is being documented quite regularly. Tonight's card was a ripper.
Oh, look, we were giving each of the horses, any horse that raced, $50 fuel voucher, which certainly helps bring our nominations up. And we had 9 races. We probably could have run 10 with the nominations we had. So HRV in their wisdom decided not to, but 9 races with massive field could have been terrific. That's like nearly 100 horses for the night at $50 each. So our club was actually putting in $5,000 for the participants to take advantage of.
It's not just that either, though, Jared. Like anyone that hasn't been there, the Lions Club feed the participants. So they don't have to put their hand in their pocket. There's, I presume that's still the case with the hamburgers and everything else along the way. There is so many upsides, and also from now on, better weather.
Yeah, look, weather today was beautiful. It's probably getting a little bit cool outside now, but terrific weather. You know, not very windy. Would have been a good night. The only downside, Paul, is that I noticed probably about half of your crowd on tonight. Alex Ashford, Sean McNulty, Geordie, Justin Lane, a few of the guys, they would have been up here racing, but they've decided to get on with you.
Well, they've been sending messages. They're probably turned around and driving home. That's probably why my viewership's up or down in spots. The viewer doesn't worry me. I mean, it's participation, but also just getting the messaging out there and the truthful message, Jared. That's one of the things, and I really do appreciate you coming on for that part. I think, it is a frustration of our industry that people are quite happy to say something that's not true and just run with it. And it's a lot easier when they know all the facts. Yep.
Look, it was called off reasonably early, and HRV been very good getting out to the participants. We sort of rang up quite a few that were in the early races. The word got out very, very quickly, which was good. Like, HRV did a great job with what they did. We sort of chased up a lot of people who were behind the scenes workers, like Ian, the guy who does the photos and things like that. So, we sort of chased around. We tried to make sure people weren't either on the way or not far down the track anyway.
No, I think well done and getting on the good foot. Donna Castles has just tuned in. Donna, you're going to answer your phone in a minute. I have to promote the pacing for Pink going forward, going there. When do you race next, Jared?
I think it's about 19th of May.
Yep.
So about a month away. We have made an inquiry as to whether we can rerun this one sometime, and Greg Gangle is checking to see what dates may or may not be available.
And trying to assist not only the club but also the participants that were making their way to get there, which is really exciting. Jared, just on another note, congratulations on Sunday. You presented the Aspiring Eva Bold Eagle trotting filly. Kath McIntosh actually presented it on your behalf, but congratulations, $50,000. Just great result for a trotting filly in Australia at the minute, isn't it?
Absolutely. Look, she was a really lovely filly, and John McHugh bought her, and I wish him all the best for her. I think it'll be trained with the Aitken stable, so she should get every chance, I think. Yeah,
I was standing right alongside him, and I said to Blue, oh, you've come in, front and centre, and he's like, I'm not missing this one, and he made sure he didn't miss it. And I mean, that's terrific. He's actually got a runner. I've got the Harasta Trotters or Yabby Dam Farms logo going underneath. I'll be getting into trouble from Louise because it must be one of the earlier races, a 3-year-old trotting.
Mary Mac.
Is it a filly or a colt? It's a filly, I'm sure.
Mary Mac, I think it's a filly, yeah.
Yeah, Mary Mac. There it is in race 4. It's drawn 8th for Joshy Aiken. So good luck to him with that. It's not without a winning chance either. It's on the back of last year's winner. No telling Heather for Colin Holloway. But yeah, it's an interesting field, that one, that's for sure. But great to see that. Josh was very, very excited about that as well.
Yeah, I haven't caught up with Josh, but I'll be down at Nutrien's finals this week, and I'll try and catch up with him just to see if she's settled in all right.
Yep, beautiful filly. Well presented by Kath McIntosh. The presentation, mate, you were there by all vendors, is outstanding, isn't it?
Oh, look, it was really fantastic sale. Like, the quality of the horse flesh, quality of the catalogue was just terrific. Vindicated by some of the big prices. And 70% clearance rate is really terrific in this day and age. Yeah,
well, it was 67 on the day, and it's now past that 70%. And I would imagine there's still plenty of opportunities to buy some quality stock still available. You won't mind me putting them over the top here. I just didn't get me little thing. I just got caught out a little bit tonight, which is unusual for me. It's not actually. So I think there's 41 yearlings still available, or 40 yearlings there. Headed up there. Well, not headed up, but the first one on offer there is the Yankee Princess out of the other way around, by Pastor Stephen. Of course, the half-sister to Prince of Rock, last year's 3-year-old trotting colt winner. So some real high quality, some reserves there on a couple of those horses. Of course, the Kinvara Sue's got an $80,000 reserve there, but there is also the Regal Pepperell, our Sky Valley, has a reserve of $8,000. So plenty of opportunities there for the trotters, and also the pacers as well. Joe Pace was on there before. The Rock and Roll Chapel there has got a reserve of $30,000. You're able to buy that. And actually the Neapolitan Franco Tintin in America, one of the real quirky little bred ones, for $20,000. So it is exciting, that part as well, Jared.
Plenty there, and quite a wide range of prices. So yeah, something there for everybody.
Yeah, is indeed. Jared, thanks for coming on, clearing up the generator matter, I suppose, if you want to call it Generator Gate. We might call it against the Twitter, but it's all good and well for people to turn around and say people are trying to hold our industry back. Sometimes the negative comments that some of these people make is what actually holds the industry back. So if they think a little bit first and maybe ask a few questions, it'd be probably a better way about going about things.
Absolutely. We would have dearly loved to be out there on the track at this minute, but stars didn't align, and it didn't happen.
No. Thank you, Jared. Won't be the last time you and I chat. The Stallion Tender be happening again this year?
I think we'll line up again. It should get off the ground again without any worries, I reckon.
No, good as gold. Everyone looks forward to that. It won't be that long. It'll be here. We're selling yearlings now. Winter Woolies weanling sale in New Zealand is coming very, very quickly. There's plenty going on, and it won't be long, and the Stallions will be coming over. A couple of big. What about that, Jared? As a trotting lover, Volstead, and then his name's left me. Brett Coffey's going to tell me right off, and it's totally left me.
Tactical
approach. Thank you very much. We worked well together. But just amazing that both horses will be standing, basically in the Goulburn Valley, but in Victoria as of next year, or this year coming. Just brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah, both fresh semen. It's terrific way to go, and I think both stallions should be very well patronised.
Yeah, and Nancy Tactor, of course, the trainer at Tactical Approach, she purchased half a horse, incidentally, from Aliber, in conjunction with Brittany Graham. So that in itself is super exciting for this industry, and I'm going to try and get hold of Nancy and have a couple of chats to her about her racing stable. I mean, she does an awesome job with that, but also, this investment into Australia, it's exciting. Let's sing its praises.
Oh, look, it's terrific, and just that just tells you about the quality of our stock that we've got down here. Like it's if you've got international people looking to buy or get shares or whatever, it's we must be doing something right.
Yeah, Mark made a pretty important one there, and I don't know the answer. He didn't say it was a record, but it was pointed out to him that 5 horses selling for over $200,000 in one calendar year, is pretty amazing. He's not sure it's happened before, and I don't know the answer either, but it is exciting for our industry. We've got to start pumping these things up. We've got Craig Judd on there. I know the Arla Vitesse and the Ben Injured both sold from those guys. Let's start celebrating it. Let's get the message out there about how great this industry is. Breeders can make money. People racing horses can make money. Let's celebrate it. Let's get on the front foot.
Yep, and just the preparation of those yearlings this year just gets better and better every year. So well done to all those preparers.
Yeah, and they keep looking for that little edge. Each of them do too. I noticed Darren Parker, who sold the filly for $150,000 out of Perfect Sense. They did their videos early. Geez, they looked good. Their coats looked terrific. They'd got a little bit wintry by the time they got to the sales, but smart move. Get the videos done 6 weeks out. They were out early. They had them out early when their coats were at their best, and they really smart move by the team there. So it'll be interesting what people do next year.
Yep. Even with the teams, they all had a different uniform on. Aliber had a certain colour. Darren Park had a mauve or a purple colour. It was really easy to tell, which team they were from. So, all the teams had great uniforms. So hats off to them.
Yeah, they definitely did. Ben Stubb with the black with the lime green, Aliber with a grey. Calf has a red and blue, I suppose. Lower Long Farm checkered shirt. Hot pink for Durham Park. Blue and gold for Montyburn Net. And then I'm going to be in trouble because I forgot. Rasta Trotters, blue and they had 2 shirts. They had the Friday Saturday shirts, and then they stepped it up. Rhiannon Park, Blanche always outdoes herself, I think, in her presentations. But Stacey Towers as well.
Yep.
It's pretty exciting. I'm going to have forgot someone. If I've forgotten you, I'm sorry. It's just I forgot you. That's the only thing that it is. It's definitely not deliberate. That's for sure. So, it's there was plenty going on. Jared, thank you. Might get you on a couple of times through the quieter months as well. We might talk breeding and trotting and get the likes of Nick Hooper. It was good to see him again there the other day, and maybe even go back to a bit of those Breed to Succeed days where we can just talk breeding. Maybe on a quiet Sunday afternoon or something. We'll just see. We'll get a couple of those ones up and going, I think, and keep the word going for this great industry.
Would work well.
I think so as well. Mate, thank you so much.
Pleasure. Catch you later.
Gerald Moloney there, and a little bit of rubbish spoken about on social media about the fact that yes, they could have raced with the generators. That definitely wasn't the case. So this one could be dangerous. We'll just see how we go. She does know I'm going to call her. Now I'm not sure which number to call. We'll go this one. Let's just see what happens. Maybe shouldn't be doing this. Hopefully she doesn't answer it cheekily. She maybe will, maybe won't. No, I'm not going to answer, but that's okay. Don't forget pacing for pink. What I will do, I'll be able to do most of it myself, I reckon, here. We'll get off that one there. We'll go this way. Anyone out there listening, tell Donna that I was trying to ring her just then. She was on there before, but of course you can follow everything that is going on with Pacing for Pink through their Facebook page, and we will go to that one just there. Got to hit that button there too. Of course, this is where they're putting up all of the people, Leah Bird, Taylor Fellows as well. Sponsors getting behind a lot of the drivers for the month, because people will be wearing the pink pants. And going from there, Mildura Harness Racing Club, Scott Adams. It's not going to give me what I'm after, unfortunately. The beanies are on sale. They are now. So pacing for pink beanies have arrived and are on sale at Shepparton Harness Racing from tomorrow night. They also can be purchased Melton Saddlery, Garrard's Bendigo and Melton. With the cold weather almost upon us, grab a beanie for $25 and know that you're doing a great cause for pacing for pink. And here we are. This is the one that I did want. We'll click that one there. Unfortunately, just give me, I'll kill my webcam for a sec. Woohoo, look at the Australian Post delivered a signed cricket bat from Glenn McGrath for the silent auction at Shepparton Harness Racing on Sunday, May the 5th, so 2 weeks. Make sure you come along and bid. A big thank you to Glenn McGrath. Magnificent they do. Shepparton Harness Racing Club, breast cancer. We're delighted that Tracy Bevan McGrath Foundation Ambassador and board member will be a special guest there as well on that day. So make sure you get involved. But it is Sunday, the May the 5th. I will be there on track emceeing, but there'll be plenty of others going on as well. I'm just trying to see if there is one there. Pacing for pink merchandise. Let's see. That wasn't the one I wanted. Okay, we might be better off just to have it there. So you can see that email address there is underneath, if you see it there. So yep, go joejubrysalary.com.au, question marks, and then to the pacing, and you can purchase any of those there. So you've got your polo tops, hoodies, pink tech vest, soft shell jackets, $99, bucket hat, string backpack, pacing pink sweater, a cooler, and that is it. So there's plenty of other stuff that you can get there as well. So make sure you get behind that. That is the pacing for pink. Sunday the 5th of May, going to be here very, very shortly. Not Mother's Day, but it will be here very, very shortly. Pony trot drivers are already wearing pink pants, so many of them with sponsors, which is awesome. Absolutely, Alex. And the best part about it is to raise awareness for breast cancer. So many young girls, it's the same with Team Teal. So many young girls become aware of what is actually what is going on. So it's a very, very important time, if you like, and awareness, and it's what this industry does. As I said there before as well, I'll just get that ticker, that one right there, when we're talking about raising money for harness for the fight of their life. So go to Garrard's or the Creek, their Facebook and websites as well, for four gentlemen in in Queensland, who have got numerous different fights going on there as well. Go and please read them. And if you can donate, please donate, and we'll go for, get the message out there. So I know there's plenty of other people that will be going and getting involved in that, which is what we want. I've put this banner up about 10 times because it's not the one I was after, but the New Zealand, the NZB Standardbred Karaka Weanling sales is on Thursday the 23rd of March. They've got 106 lots on offer, and they will go under the hammer. It's a cool sale. It is a Thursday. The next day, the Friday, is Auckland Cup and Row Cup night. Row Cup, at Auckland. Get there the day before. Get yourself there at least on the Wednesday. You can arrive 12 o'clock Wednesday. It's great fun, a lot of fun. A lot of people enjoy going there. I know there's a few people going across to have a look and be a part of it. You can buy plenty of bargains. You can see there. This is since NZB have had it. So Artie by the Seaside, Better Zip It, Mantra Blue, Masiaso, Sinbad, Davy Dooley, Kiss, Racy Girl. There is plenty of others, but of course horses like Copy That and My Hard Copy, both graduates of the sale that was before that was PG Wrightson, but horses were purchased as weanlings and going from there. Some are pinhooked, some aren't. KTC Bloodstock, they actually pinhooked a horse and brought it back and put it through the Melbourne sales on the weekend. I can't tell you how much it sold, because long story, but anyway, I can't log into my Nutrien account, but going forward, so plenty happening there as well. Warragul Cup on Sunday. Don't forget the Warragul Cup is on Sunday, so got a good field going through. we can get there. Interesting race with the up to 55 for their cups, so they're doing it a little bit differently than a lot of others, but yeah, so it's an up to 55. I think all these horses had to run around in the heats at Cranbourne last week, and then they also have the Trotters Cup there as well, with it's an open Trotters Cup there. Kiang Zena headed the top of the noms there, or the lone back marker, the best rated horse, I suppose, at $6.50. Who they got as a favourite? $5 for Virginia Clowers. Tweedledee, Kiang Stuka. Good little field. Kiang Stuka took part last year and got fourth, I think, behind Prince of Rock in the New Zealand, in the Nutrien Sales Classic race as well. So plenty happening there. Goulburn on Sunday. There's a big meeting at Goulburn as well with the Hewitt Memorial Day. Sorry, I'm just clicking the wrong buttons here as well. So there's a big meeting happening there as well. So don't forget Marburger Racing on the Tuesday. Plenty happening. We've also got Anzac Day on the Thursday. So lest we remember, I do have one of the badges. It will definitely be on me next week. It's down in my car because I was as organised as everything. Bendigo Trotters Cup is also coming up in... I'm going to have a look at that because they were good enough to me, very good to me last year. Diamonds Day Sunday. Tyler Dew, very good man. Just hang on, we'll stick with Bendigo for the second. Might be there, the 26th, is it? Bendigo Trotters Cup is on the 26th, so that'll be Friday week, so make sure you're aware of that one as well. And then now, hang on, let's go to the New Zealand show. Hasn't happened this week, unfortunately, because I've had a fair bit going on. But this Sunday, one of the big days, Group 1 Racing Day, is at Invercargill. Do you have a winner for us, Tyler, while you are helping me out and making me look good there? We've got the Southern Supremacy final, and they are for 3-year-old colts and geldings. And the Oaks final is there, and then the Diamond. So we'll go to the Diamond first. Get this one up here. So this is the Diamond Creek 2-year-old Classic, $110,000 Group 1 event. Always Dreaming, Don't Stop Dreaming's younger brother. They're Better Anvil, Riberia for Nathan and Mark Barton. It's a Always Be Mickey that has yet to get beaten. Got the Chocolates, Ukraine, the first winner for Captain Crunch for the year. Marketplace, Rakama, and He's Johnny, all taking part in that. That's a $110,000 race at 3:32, so 1:30 Sunday. It will be there. Belinda Richardson, hello to you. Yes, Mr. Hollywood was a very, very funny one on the week. We might talk about that in a sec. The Macar Lodge Great Southern Oaks final. Ruby Rowe, there's a horse there that goes terrific. Louis' Girl, great story. Craig Ferguson as well, seems to have returned in terrific form. Artie B. Mickey, always stricken. Mickey's Beauty, yeah, good little field there. There's a trot there. Interesting to hear a couple of retirements out of the trotters. And then the 3-year-old Colts and Geldings Group 2 event, $60,000 double jeopardy. Harrison John Dawson, Built for Glory. Miraculous Dreams R3, Don't Stop Dreaming's brother as well. And Song Sung Blue for Maddie Williamson. So massive meeting there. Good luck to everyone. Probably should have had someone on from there. I do apologise to the guys in New Zealand because just had a wee issue with my router and it did not want to work. But massive couple of weeks coming up for the guys in New Zealand, and we will definitely get it out there. Anyone wondering about the Mr. Hollywood NAS from the Philippines was set up by one Mark Hughes just the other day, so he had a little bit of fun, and Belinda is going to keep going with it. I could be known as Mr. Hollywood right across the Philippines, which would be quite funny, but a little bit of fun because Richo, of course, works with Woodland Stud, who are offering up 41 yearlings in the May 23rd NZB weaning sale, and we will be doing plenty more shameless promotions for that as well. Huge thank you to everyone. Of course, there's 106 weanlings on offer. Pacing for Pink coming around very, very quickly. The Nullarbor haven't even touched on the Nullarbor. Did have Brittany Graham on earlier as well, but haven't got her. I might even, as I said, try and touch up base with Nancy Tactor. We'll talk about the yearling purchase, and they're in flux, if you like, into Australian racing, which is super exciting. We've got to celebrate these things and get the message out there. Thank you to everyone that's got involved. The likes, I think a few people have tuned out and gone to watch the footy, but I really do appreciate it. On Loose Lines, we'll be back next Wednesday with a new stage, or new studio. Hopefully be up and running by then. We've got some new implements there, the tickers underneath. If you want to advertise through your tickers, give us a yell. We can put them in your colours and go from there as well. But please tune in to On Loose Lines. Anyway, it looks like I've got to do some cooking. The looks of the daughter's face just then. So I better go and get some cooking started. But yeah, thank you to everyone. Hopefully you've had a great week. Let's keep promoting this sport. Let's enjoy it. All the naysayers, good luck. Swan Hill called off because the power was out. They do have a generator, but would have only done the lights. But thank you very much. See you all next week. This has been On Loose Lines.